Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. This week I will be giving you all some ideas for finding that perfect jacket or coat for your body shape. Depending on where you live, you may be wearing a coat for a few months like I'll be in the States, so you want to make sure you select the best one that will suit you and your shape best. Since I know that not everyone will be experiencing very cold weather, I included some tips for lighter jackets as well. So let's get started. So the first jacket we'll be working with is a lightweight trench coat. I believe that they're a must-have fall staple since they provide the right amount of warmth during the transitional months. The one that I'm wearing is perfect for both an apple and rectangular shape since it has a belt that'll cinch you in around the waist and ruffle detailing all the way around the bottom portion of the jacket, which adds volume to the hips and creates a little booty if you don't have one going on. The only thing that I want to make note of is if you are an apple shape and you just happen to have a trench coat that doesn't have any ruffle detailing, which of course I'm suggesting here, that you don't go for something that is double-breasted since it only adds more volume to your bust area. So ideally you'd want to go for something like this that has a single lining for buttons down the center of your bust to avoid enlarging your upper chest area. But of course, for the rectangular shape, you can go ahead and do something like this. But if you have a coat or access or you see a jacket like this, then you can definitely get it if you're an apple, because since it has the double breasting and the opportunity to cinch in the waistline, and then you have the ruffle detailing, it's actually giving the appearance of an hourglass figure since you have the volume, of course, of your natural shape on top, and then you're cinching it in at the waist, and then you have the curves going on with the ruffle detailing, creating that illusion on the bottom portion of your body. I also wanted to mention a trench coat that is this length is perfect for petites because it's actually going to reveal more of your leg and it's not going to shorten you off. I just hate when I see petite ladies sporting a trench coat that's like all the way to the knees and they look like Danny DeVito or like a penguin walking around, and it just does not look good at all. You're shortening yourself and you are just making yourself appear even more shorter than what you are. So you want to go with something like this that's around the hips, that's really going to expose more of your leg and prevent you from looking that much more shorter. Working with yet another trench coat, this one is ideal for both the pear and the hourglass, mainly because of the button and the pocket placement. Now I wanted to make note of where the front pockets are. They're not positioned on the side of the hips, which would otherwise cause the hips to look that much more wider by adding more volume. So it being in the front of the leg area is actually going to take away from the side of the hips and of course not drawing any more attention to that area. And it's also a double-breasted jacket, so it's going to cause a little bit more volume to be placed on your bust area if you are a pair, which is great. And you can also sport this look if you are an hourglass because you have the reestablishment of your waistline where the belt is. So it's not like you're just going to cause so much volume on your bust and then not cause attention to be placed on your small waistline and then have it flare out a bit towards the hip area. So this is ideal if you are a pear or an hourglass because it's not adding any more volume to the lower portion of your body. It's pretty basic, but it also adds a little bit of volume to your bust area. So it's keeping that mainstream feminine silhouette going on. Okay, so moving right along, I absolutely love this jacket for a rectangular shape because it has so much going on top that's going to cause the eye to focus there and mainly create some curves, especially with the elastic waistband going on that's going to cinch you in, which of course you naturally lack that. So it's going to establish a waistline and prevent you from looking boxy or square. And you have the pockets placed strategically right on the bust line. So since you generally have a smaller bust, you would want to go with something like this that's going to create some volume. Also, if you are a pair, especially if you're going to have a sweater or a thicker top underneath, that's going to cause it to bulge out a little bit more. It's going to add more volume to that area as well. And of course you have the contrasted sleeve, so this is great if you are a pair. It's going to cause the eye to focus mainly on your upper portion of your body and not look so much at your hips since you have that contrast detailing going on. Now this of course would work with the pair only because it's at the upper portion of your body. It's not stopping at the fullest part of your hips. It's going right around where your hip bone is, which is where you would want something like this to fall so that all the eye can concentrate on is the upper portion of your body. But now I've seen jackets like this that are longer, that are more like a trench coat style, and you can be able to of course wear that. It all comes down to the pocket placement, so you can put into everything that I said earlier with the other two jackets into effect when it comes with finding a jacket that is similar to this one if this is the type of style that you like. Coats that offer fur or ruffle detailing specifically in the front portion of the coat is great for most of the body shapes excluding the apple, since it's going to of course add more volume to your bust area, which in your case you don't want to do. But this would be great for both the pear and the rectangular shape, specifically the rectangular, since it adds more volume to your bust area, and then you have that reestablishment of your waistline with the belt. So anything like this that's going to add some more volume, that's going to cause the coat to puff out a little bit in the front portion, would be great, specifically for the rectangular and for the pear. And in the hourglass's case, you'd be able to do this since it reestablishes your waistline, and it's going to have a little flare out towards the bottom portion of the coat. Once again, this is a great length, especially if you are petite. However, if you're petite that has longer legs and a shorter torso, I wouldn't necessarily suggest a length like this, only because it's not going to be doing much for your legs, and it's only going to be enhancing the shortening effect of your torso. So I would suggest something along the lines of where you see my sweater ending at, around where that hip area is in terms of length for you, because it will create a more elongated torso and shorten off some of your leg. This coat I would suggest for all of the body shapes, because the flare around the hip area is not that dramatic for the pear or the hourglass that would cause otherwise the attention to be placed primarily on the hip area. So I would say this is fair game. Also because where the neckline is, where the collar is, it's a little bit wider and the flaps are thicker. So it's going to of course create volume up there and interest, and the eye to gravitate upwards as well. So of course we have 3 points of interest going on, which is for all the body shapes is what we want. We want, of course, the neckline where you see the broadening effect where the collar is. You have the button detailing in the center, and then you have that flare out on the bottom portion. So you can get away with doing this if you are an apple shape. I mentioned earlier that you ideally don't want to go with something that is double-breasted, but again, since you have a flare out going on the bottom portion, it will balance you out and cause the attention to be placed on those 3 points that I mentioned instead of one area of your body. Okay, so for this last coat, I would say this would be ideal for either the pear or the rectangular shape. For the pear, because it's not going to widen you out around your hip area, since it is an A-line cut, so it's going to skim the surface of your hips, and you have the volume going on around your bust area, right where you see where I'm grabbing, and the contrast with the fur collar on top of that. And of course, this would be great for the rectangular shape because it has, like I mentioned, the volume around the bust area, and then you have the waist belt around that's going to reestablish your waistline. I've gotten questions before if puffy coats or bubble coats are okay for your body shape. It all comes down to how it's styled. Here, I like this type of style. If it didn't have the puffiness, I would say that it would be suitable for all the body shapes. So if you come across something like this that does not have what you see that I'm grabbing here, that puff detailing, then I would say you'd be able to get it regardless of your body shape, especially if it comes with a waist belt, because it's going to just maintain that feminine silhouette around where your waistline is, and it's going to distinguish your upper and lower portion of your body. So that concludes this week's video. As always, I hope that you found everything that I mentioned in this video helpful, and that it prepared you for going out and shopping for your new coat for the season, and that it will have you looking fabulous and beautiful as you all are. Don't forget to check out my fashion blog, jalisasfashionfiles.com, for outfit of the days. I do place suggestions on how to style what I'm wearing for your body shape, so that you can get an idea for inspiration on how to style it for your body shape, as well as my Facebook page, which I'm always updating with style tips for the body shapes and for height daily. Until next time, thank you guys so much for stopping by and taking time out of your days for watching my videos, and I will see you in next week's video. Mwah! Take care.